Why was Robert De Niro fired from not one but two major projects by Warner Brothers? And even more unsettling, is this possibly the end of his career as we know it? Today's events bring a shocking twist that's taking Hollywood by storm. We're diving deep into the intense fallout between De Niro and studio executives, and it's not just about his comments anymore. From a multi-million-dollar mob boss film to major canceled projects, there's much more to this story than meets the eye. Stick around, because if you think this is intense, just wait until you hear the real reason Warner Brothers made this decision. Could it really be the beginning of the end for De Niro in Hollywood? As we approach the close of 2024, the film industry has seen upheaval like never before. High-profile firings and executive shakeups have become the norm across major studios. Recent years have brought fierce backlash for these companies, especially with the constant stream of box office disappointments and a rising perception that studios are sacrificing storytelling for ideology. And now one actor who's found himself right in the middle of this storm is none other than Robert De Niro. Known for an iconic career, De Niro has also built a reputation for controversial and some might say toxic public comments. His recent fallout with Warner Brothers, the studio behind the Joker films, has brought his public image to a boiling point. Warner Brothers has been weathering its own storms. Joker 2, once one of their highly anticipated projects, didn't quite deliver critically or commercially as expected. De Niro's potential involvement in the sequel raised eyebrows. His character's return was heavily speculated, especially with plans for flashback scenes. Yet, despite all the talk, those scenes never happened, and now, as it turns out, the fallout from that decision has only fueled further tensions. Now, De Niro is reportedly furious, and it's becoming clear that his comments and conflicts with Warner Brothers have escalated to a breaking point. But here's the thing, this situation goes beyond just an actor being frustrated. It's about how Hollywood is handling controversies, layoffs, and big changes in today's environment. The mounting tensions between De Niro and Warner Brothers could mark a turning point, especially as his viral statements continue stirring up intense public reactions. It's not just Warner Brothers feeling the heat, the entire film industry is facing unprecedented. Audiences are questioning the values and direction of major studios, and the backlash is only intensified with news of De Niro's sudden firing. He was removed from two major projects due to a mix of controversial comments and escalating tensions, scrutiny from the public. One of these films, slated for a 2027 release, was set to feature De Niro as a mobster, a role he's perfected over the years. The big-budget project now faces an uncertain future without him, as Warner Brothers, led by CEO David Zaslav, has made it clear that De Niro's recent behavior crossed a line they couldn't ignore. In recent months, De Niro's comments have stirred outrage. His outspoken nature and fierce public opinions began clashing with the studio's corporate interests, putting executives in a challenging position. Zaslav and his team ultimately decided that De Niro's actions posed a reputational risk they weren't willing to take, especially given how quickly controversies can snowball in today's media climate. Consequently, Warner Brothers made the tough call to remove De Niro from this 2027 film, a move that's already reshaping the entire project. In fact, they're now exploring the possibility of canceling it altogether, a decision that has left the movie's future in jeopardy. Unsurprisingly, this news hasn't gone down well with De Niro. He's been outspoken, labeling Zaslav's choice foolish, and he claims the decision was driven by political bias. De Niro has even suggested legal action against Warner Brothers if they don't reinstate him, an intense stance that only heightens the drama. The saga doesn't end there. De Niro's role in Joker 3, which reportedly planned to feature his character in flashbacks, has also been axed. Additionally, a separate action thriller produced by Warner Brothers, initially scheduled for 2026, is now in turmoil. Though the action movie is technically still on track, the uncertainty around De Niro's involvement has sparked questions about the film's stability and future. This escalating conflict illustrates how Hollywood is grappling with the delicate balance between artistic freedom and studio interests. De Niro, a veteran of the industry, now finds himself ensnared in a broader debate over what is deemed acceptable in Hollywood today. Especially as studios navigate a highly sensitive climate, De Niro isn't letting this firing slide without a fight. He's hinted at filing a legal complaint against Warner Brothers, arguing that his removal was not only unprofessional but infringes upon his right to express his views. From his perspective, personal opinion shouldn't be grounds for career damage. Warner Brothers, however, views the situation differently. They believe his recent public statements present a significant risk to their studio's image and potentially to the success of future projects involving him. One of these projects, a high-stakes mob film that was inspired by his classic work in Casino and Goodfellas, was set to highlight De Niro in a prominent role. Warner Brothers had massive plans for the film's marketing, with De Niro front and center. His contract alone was worth nearly $20 million, emphasizing just how high the stakes were. Now, with his exit, the film's future is in question. Warner Brothers is scrambling to find a replacement for the role, but reports suggest that recasting is proving challenging, as finding someone who brings De Niro's gravitas to a mob role is no small feat. The fractures in the relationship between De Niro and Warner Brothers didn't appear overnight. Beyond his public comments, there were whispers that De Niro felt his role in the mob film was underutilized, and he reportedly wanted a bigger presence on screen. This creative difference, mixed with his controversial public remarks, set the stage for an inevitable clash with Warner Brothers executives. His insistence on a more prominent role, coupled with the fallout over his statements, created a series of confrontations that ultimately culminated in his dismissal. With Warner Brothers left to reassess their project's direction, they now face a considerable production dilemma. Should they proceed with the film in its current form, reframe it with a new lead, or simply shelve it indefinitely? All while De Niro's legal threats loom in the background, casting an even darker shadow over the whole ordeal. This has quickly become one of the year's most high-profile disputes between a studio and a major actor. De Niro's stance is only further complicated by the perception of him in the public eye. Many view him as just another out-of-touch celebrity, echoing figures like Jimmy Kimmel, George Clooney, and Whoopi Goldberg. There's a sentiment that Hollywood elites, De Niro included, are increasingly disconnected from the experiences of everyday people. It's no wonder, then, that De Niro's controversies have made it harder for studios and fans alike to rally around him. This latest friction with Warner Brothers has been brewing for some time. Even from the initial talk of his involvement in an untitled mob project, a genre he helped define, tensions have simmered. While fans of his classic work might have been excited to see him return to the genre, De Niro's controversies have overshadowed that enthusiasm, leaving studios hesitant about his involvement. His attempt to reignite his career by revisiting mobster roles seems to be clashing with a Hollywood that's moving in a different direction. To complicate matters further, De Niro's recent media appearances and public remarks have only served to increase the backlash. Known for taking extreme stances, De Niro's opinions have managed to stir up negative attention, even alienating some within the industry. This pattern of behavior has not helped his standing with Hollywood executives or with the public. As Warner Brothers faces mounting challenges with De Niro's absence, there are rumors that other studios might also be reconsidering their association with him. Universal, for example, is reportedly weighing the possibility of dropping De Niro from a family-oriented project scheduled for the next few years. Though details about this film are still under wraps, the growing uncertainty around De Niro's career could play a significant role in whether or not it moves forward. Despite De Niro's legendary past, there's a sense that his recent performances haven't resonated with audiences. Recent films have left many feeling that he's lost some of his relevance, fading from the A-list status he once held so firmly. For Warner Brothers, then CEO David Zaslav's decision may have been a pragmatic one. In a way, distancing the studio from De Niro's divisive comments might spare them the kind of public relations disaster that could have haunted their upcoming projects. Looking back, we've seen what happened with Rachel Zegler's Snow White comments, and De Niro's remarks have sparked even more outrage by comparison. Allowing him to front their campaigns would have been a risky move, to say the least. Taking a step back, it's clear that studios are treading carefully in today's charged atmosphere. De Niro's stance has put his career at odds with Hollywood's current values, creating challenges that could make it harder for him to secure roles in the future. As we continue through the decade, the public's perception of De Niro will be one to watch closely. Will he find a way to reclaim his legacy, or has his Hollywood era come to an end? For now, Warner Brothers' decision might mark the end of an era for Robert De Niro's involvement in major blockbusters. Only time will tell if he can rebuild his reputation or if Hollywood has truly left him behind. Thank you for watching Movie Saga. If you enjoyed today's breakdown and want to stay updated on more Hollywood news and industry deep dives, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay tuned for more on Movie Saga, where we bring you closer to the stories shaping the film industry.